All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's Friday, and we kick off the show. Lots to talk about. We'll get to Bill Donahue in just a few moments in the next segment. But you heard John in the news talking about what a lot of the media is talking about, and these reports by ISIS, that the U.S. hostage, the female hostage that we mentioned and had alluded to over the past few days, that ISIS is holding, an American, is now dead. And she was killed in a bombing raid conducted by Jordan in recent days. Now, why on earth would this become the story of the day? Why on earth would anybody believe what ISIS has to say? First of all, you have to assume that the hostages are dead. But what is going on here? I mean, we have now learned that, remember last week or about a week or so ago with the big prisoner exchange, and they want they're going to release the pilot to Jordan if Jordan releases this female would-be suicide bomber. The pilot had been dead for a month. Why do we believe anything ISIS says? Why do we even report on it? I mean, you could mention it and then that's it. CNN is, you would think, oh, God forbid, a plane crashed. It's like they're in their glory. Wall to wall, nothing else but ISIS claims, ISIS claims. Who cares what ISIS claims? And I got a question for you. If Jordan is having all this success, this has nothing to do with the hostage. If Jordan is having all this success in hitting targets, ISIS targets, infrastructure, communications, blah, 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 because they're mad, why haven't we been doing this all along? Why did we have to wait for Jordan to get ticked off enough to do this? We have a coalition. We're the gosh darn United States of America. Why did it take an outraged Jordan seeking revenge to cause all this damage from the air? Why hasn't our great commander-in-chief had that accomplished already by us and the coalition? I got to tell you, this gets sicker and sicker and sicker. You know why we haven't accomplished it up until now? It's kind of a rhetorical question. Because we have a president of the United States who doesn't want to accomplish that. Oh, we may be assisting Jordan now, blah, blah, blah. Because Jordan said, we're going to do it anyway. But we have a president who does not want to destroy ISIS. Because if he did, we would have. All the damage Jordan has done in the past few days would have been long done by us. What could I say? What could I say? I do have some good news if it's true. The U.S. Army has decided to award the Purple Heart to the victims of Fort Hood. Now, I'm not sure how you award the Purple Heart to the victims of workplace violence, because I assume it's still categorized as an act of workplace violence by this feckless commander-in-chief. I don't know what it means for the deceased and their survivors as far as benefits and benefits for the people who were wounded who will get the Purple Heart. Has it been reclassified? I don't have those answers. But all these years later, at least a little bit of good is coming out. Now, as for Brian Williams, a Louisiana newspaper has now printed a discrepancies, as they put it, between what Brian Wilson said about Hurricane Katrina and what he did and saw in New Orleans during Hurricane Katrina with what actually happened in the areas that Brian Wilson was in. Did I say Brian Wilson? Brian Williams. I leave the Beach Boys out of this, okay? They're saying the New Orleans Advocate called into question Williams' descriptions of a couple of shocking experiences. In one, he says he saw a body floating by right outside his hotel room. The problem, according to the newspaper, is that there was no water outside Brian Williams' hotel room. Then he talks about getting sick from drinking some water. And they have no reports of anybody, not even animals, who would, why, first of all, the kind of water that Brian Williams talked about drinking, why would he have drank that, they ask. And even the animals that didn't get sick. They have no reports of anybody getting what Brian Williams said he had. So now all these things are coming to light. And it really makes you wonder. It really makes you wonder. All right, what's coming up next, ladies and gentlemen? I believe it's Bill Bennett. It's Bill Donahue. Don't go away.